Hi, scholars. Miss J. Williams. Welcome to another week here at GLASW. We're going to get our lesson started for this week. But before we get our lesson started, like we always do, we're going to start with our affirmation. I am a great visionary. I am a thoughtful person who strives to inspire others with my words. I am always generous with praise and compliments. I am an inspiration to others because when I shine, you shine. And when you shine, we all shine. All right. So we're going to get into our lesson. And this week's lesson is about communication. Our objective is I can identify and explain the types of communication. Communication is defined as the process of exchanging information, thoughts, ideas, feelings, and emotions through speech, signals, writing, or behaviors. It is also the means of sending information, such as telephone lines or computers. So basically, communication is the way that you exchange information or how you exchange information, whether it be through the telephone line, on the phone, on a computer, and we'll get into a couple more in this lesson. So we're going to talk about the types of communication. The first one is verbal. Verbal is the use of language to transfer information through speaking or sign language. It is done by word of mouth or a piece of paper. Now, that is basically just talking. So, when you're speaking, you're using your voice to talk and to convey information. Then we have people who are hearing impaired, which means they cannot hear. So they have to use sign language, and we'll see this little chart right here. Each letter of the alphabet is represented by the different sign that you use with your hand, and then those signs are combined to make words. So that is the way the hearing impaired communicate. They communicate through sign language, and sign language, although they're not using their voice is their hands, and that is also a form of verbal communication. When you use verbal communication, it is important to use a nice, strong voice so that you can be heard. Also, to use active listening. You want to listen, not to just respond, but to actually hear what the person is saying or what the person is trying to communicate. That is very important through verbal communication. Ashay? Now we have nonverbal communication. Nonverbal communication is the use of body language, gestures, and facial expressions to convey information to others. It includes head, it includes eye gaze, it includes posture, it includes body shape, and personal adornment. And personal adornment just means by what you're wearing. So we're going to look at this first picture up the top. This is their personal adornment. What they wear sends you information about what they do. So if you look at this first person by looking at what he wears, what do you think that he does? Yes, I think that he will be a construction worker. That is what this means by personal adornment. Let's look at the second person. The second person, that's easy. It's a police officer. So by this woman putting on these clothes, you could tell that she is a police officer and that is what she's communicating. What about the third person? Yeah, I would think this person would be a carpenter, a handyman, someone who fixes stuff around the house and builds houses and everything. What about the fourth person? Yes, I think that he would be a businessman, a lawyer, a teacher. So him wearing a suit is conveying that message out. And the fifth person. Yes, this person I would think will be a nurse, especially since the stethoscope that she has around her neck. That is one of the personal adornments that easily speaks to what she does. So by looking at all these people, what they wear, you can tell what they do for a living. Then we go and look at nonverbal communication with gestures. Look at this person. What message is this person conveying? Yes, that person is conveying to be quiet, but there are also more gestures that you can do. If I was to do this, yes, that would mean great job. If I was to do this, yes, I would be telling you no. If I was to do this, I would be telling you to stop. So those are ways that you can use nonverbal communication, not speaking, but just using your gestures and using your body language to convey a message. The next thing that we are going to look at is facial expressions. Facial expressions also is a way to communicate non-verbally without using words. So let's look at some of these pictures. Yes, look at number one. What does he look like? I would think he looks scared. Yes. What about number two? Look at her facial expression. Look at her posture. Look how she's standing. Yeah, I would think that she would look confident, or she looks beautiful, but she's definitely showing confidence. And this person, yes, he looks angry. His mouth is open, his eyebrows is hunched up, and yes, he's communicating that he's angry. What about number four? He looks happy. He has a big smile on his face, his eyes is bright, and he just overall look happy. What about number five? She also looked happy. I would say she looked excited. She's having fun, but she's not saying nothing. But you can tell just by her facial expressions how she feels. What about number six? And number six is a baby, but babies also have forms of communication. And this baby looks surprised, like he's trying to figure out what just happened. Let's go down here to number seven. How did this child look? Yes, this child looks sad. This child looks like she's about to cry, but that is what she is communicating just by her facial expression. And what about number eight? What about this person? This person looks worried. They're worried about something. They're thinking about something that's on their mind. But this person is conveying worry through their communication. And what about this person? This person is just like, yeah, I'm okay. Not really showing too much happiness, not showing sadness either. But, just saying, nah. So we also talked about communication and shape of the body. So we're going to look at two pictures for shape of the body. And just take a minute, look at these pictures and tell me, what do you think that these two pictures are communicating? Let's look at the picture on the left. This picture would be communicating that this person lives a healthy lifestyle, works out, is in the gym, eats right, and take care of his body. So that is what is mean by shape of body. That by his shape of his body, you can tell the lifestyle that he lives. And then when you have this picture is the opposite. Now, not to say that this person can't live a healthy lifestyle, but like he's eating a donut or a snack, he's not in as much shape as this person is. So you probably would think that this person doesn't live too much of a healthy lifestyle. Okay? Now we're going to talk about written communication. Written communication is the sending of messages, orders, or instructions in writing through letters, circulars, manuals, reports, telegrams, office memos, bulletins, emails, etc. Anything that has to do with written form on in the paper or what you read. Now that is very important, especially with your schoolwork, that when you do your written communication, that you write simple and clear. Don't overdo it because sometimes less is best. Ashay. All right, so in our this week's lesson, you are going to, on the activity, you are going to look at some pictures. You're going to talk about or tell me what those pictures convey, what the message they're conveying, and then you're going to talk about how it applies to your life. All right? So in this lesson, we talked about the what communication is, the exchanging of information, and the way that information is exchanged. We talked about it being verbal communication, we talked about it being nonverbal communication, and we talked about written communication. And these are all the ways that communication is needed, especially when you are a leader and you are in leadership. It is very vital that you understand that communication is key, especially when you have people who are following you or under you. You have to use exceptional communication skills to reach all your people. So that is the lesson for this week. It is about communication. So until next week, have a great day.